Hi everyone, it's Mrs. Brimlow, and in this video we're going to talk about the golden rule of inequalities. So before we start graphing and solving them together, we need to go over what we call the golden rule. So this is page 9 in your packet. If you could pull that up, it looks like this. So the golden rule of inequalities. When you go to solve an inequality, it's the same steps as solving an equation. So those are going to hopefully come back to us from a few months ago when we studied this unit. However, the difference is that obviously we have the inequality symbol, we can graph our answers, and we have what we call the golden rule. So the golden rule of inequalities is that whenever you multiply or divide both sides by a negative number, you must flip or reverse the inequality symbol. And we are actually going to go through that step by step in the example provided. So if you can pause this video at any time to make sure you have all the notes down, and then just unpause or play when you're ready to continue. So step 1, we're going to solve the inequality like an equation. Step 2, we're going to check the order. So we want it to be then. So we want a variable, inequality symbol, and then some number, which is going to be a constant. Now I want to remind you, it doesn't have to be this specific inequality symbol. It could be any of the 4 that we're using. I'm just putting this here as a reference, but this will represent some number, okay? So then we're going to go ahead and follow the rules of graphing. We're going to circle the number on number line. We're going to decide open or closed circle. And then we're going to shade or draw arrow appropriately. So we're bringing a few skills together. We're going to bring together skills of solving equations and what we've been working on with inequalities. So once again, remember, feel free to pause whenever needed to copy down all the notes and resume when you're ready. So as a reminder, before we jump into solving this, open circle would look like this, and that would be for the following symbols. Closed circle means that it's filled in, and that's when you have symbols that look like one of these two with an equal sign underneath, meaning that that number is included in the solution set. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and solve this. So you can see right here, I have a negative coefficient. So that's going to affect my sign or my inequality symbol in the end. So I'm going to start by boxing it, okay, because that's what I need to isolate and get by itself. So this is a review of solving equations. We solve inequalities the same way. This is a 2-step, meaning I have to get rid of the constant first, and then I'm going to deal with my variable. So because this is a positive 5, I'm going to subtract 5 on both sides, and that zeroes out, leaving me with just negative 2x less than or equal to 8. My next step is to get x by itself, and this is saying negative 2 times x. So the opposite or inverse would be to divide by negative 2. So I keep the x, I'm going to flip the inequality symbol because I divided by a negative on both sides, and I get -4, okay? So whenever you're dividing by a negative number, you're going to flip the sign. Now, let's say that this was a +2 and this was a -8. You wouldn't need to flip it. It's only when your coefficient is negative and you're multiplying or dividing by that. So I'm going to go ahead and graph this. If you get a blank number line, I typically include two numbers. I include whatever number they gave me in 0, just as a reference. So I'm going to put 0 here, and since -4 is less than that, it's going to go to the left. So I'm going to draw a circle. Because it's greater than or equal to, that means I'm going to close it. And because I have this written in the correct order, variable, inequality symbol, and number, I can use this to help guide me. Greater than means I would be going this way, so I draw the arrow over it to show what solutions are part of this inequality. Okay. So really the big thing from this video that you will gain and use in the following practice problems is that when you are multiplying or dividing with a coefficient that's negative, you need to flip the symbol in the end. So I'm just going to make that note, flip. There is no practice specific to this lesson, as in the next lesson we're going to focus more on solving. So go ahead and continue to the